What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. With me today is a very special guest from Stonage. Stonage, what is
Close.
it? Pure, unadulterated
Pure
content?
unadulterated content. Yeah, that was just the vibe that came out with it.
I
Stonage,
have.
but you're close. You're close.
Say it again.
Stonage. So
Stonage.
yeah, because
God, that's
honestly, right? Listen, don't worry. You're not the first one. You're about the millionth one. The first, it's all like Stonehenge, Stonage, Stony.
Stonage.
Yeah, it's just Stonage. Just
Stonage.
Stonage.
That's actually much easier. So I'm
Yeah,
a big fan of that. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, even yeah, we are on time, man. If I'm later, I got to be on time. So, guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Liverpool put in great performances this past week against Everton and Newcastle. We'll get into that. Chat about the upcoming match against Real Madrid. Also, some links coming out today with some midfielders, defenders, a lot of names that you guys already were aware of, but we'll chat about it again. So, make sure you guys leave your thoughts throughout the show in the comment section. Now, Stonage, Chris. Let's just chat about the match, dude. First off, the Merseyside derby, man. Everton, form goes out the window with all those kinds of matches. We know that you could be bottom of the table, top of the league, doesn't matter. It's going to be a hectic battle. But it almost seemed like we were the better team all 90 minutes. Like, even Sean Dyche had no idea what to do with us. I think the boys came out and played with a purpose, and that was the first time we'd seen that in several weeks, probably since the World Cup ended. I mean, we had those two results against Leicester and Aston Villa, but even those results, I wasn't really convinced. So what were your thoughts once you saw that performance against Everton?
I was nervous, as I think everyone was. We've been on an absolutely abhorrently bad run, as we know. And yeah, to go into that game, I was thinking, right, I thought we were going to win because I thought it's Everton. Whenever Liverpool are in a bit of time of trouble, Doctor Everton usually comes to save the day, and they did. And I don't think they played particularly well, but I thought we played really well. Especially in the midfield area, which is not something we've usually been saying recently.
Yeah.
And I think obviously there'll be one man we'll speak about a lot more with that. But yeah, with the first goal was exceptional. Darwin Nunez just unbelievable. That sprinting
What a guy.
forward.
What a guy.
And he's class, and a great finish from Mo, even though Jordan Pickford looked like he was, I don't know what continent he was in, to be honest. But
I watched it again, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what the hell was he doing? You know what I mean? Even yesterday with Pope, it seems like the last two games were just making keepers look absolutely stupid.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think he was reading that Gakpo was going to get onto it, but even then, like, why was he in that position? I don't know. And then of course Cody got his goal, which is great. But all about Bajcetic that game.
God, Bajcetic, absolute game changer. And the timing is weird with Thiago going out now and Bajcetic stepping in, but that midfield of Fabinho, Bajcetic, and then Henderson. Not the most creative midfield, but with Bajcetic now not in the holding role, Klopp decided let's go with Fabinho again. He had a little bit more freedom to show what he can do, and we saw it. I mean, we saw it really yesterday. He had that great turn, obviously, in the build-up to the goal, which has been all over social media. Beautiful turn, just great awareness on the ball. I used to think of this about Harvey Elliott, bro. I used to think at the beginning of last season and even the beginning of this season, I was like, this kid is really special. But there was always something. I was like, he's lacking something. I have not thought that once about Bajcetic. I just feel like this kid has it. As soon as he started playing.
That's it. I mean, with Harvey, I still think he's got like bundles.
Sure.
But the thing is with Bajcetic is that you could tell when Harvey Elliott, when Curtis Jones, when whoever comes through, that you can tell that they're either new or recent into the team or young players without experience. At 18 years old, can you look at any of his 12 senior appearances for Liverpool and say that he's the 18-year-old midfielder?
No, not performance-wise. Absolutely not.
And even in maturity, the way he handles himself, yes, he's a little bit skinny, but like, lad, he doesn't look like a boy. He looks like a man. And that's what you want from your players now. It's a demanding physical game, and especially under Jurgen Klopp's tutelage, I think he's got bundles. I hope he stays injury free. That's my bet. Especially in the next sort of 2 to 3 years. If he can stay injury free, he's going to be different gravy, mate.
God, that different gravy, bro. Different gravy. So I think all the players that we see in that first team, whether it's Tyler Morton, Leighton Clarkson, Ben Doak, they all clearly have the skills. We see it. We see it in flashes. I think what separates kids at that age from being able to do it consistently and just being able to be in the team, go out on loan and be one of those floating guys is the confidence. And at 18 years old, this kid has it. This kid is his mental acuity, his mental strength is next level. I can't go out there and do that now. I just the amount of pressure and the amount of composure you need to have to perform on the day-to-day basis like that is just remarkable. And like you said, especially in a Klopp system that's very physically demanding, not to lose it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, Bajcetic was great, but we also saw Van Dijk come back against Newcastle. Of course, we were talking about Everton. Nice to see Gakpo get his first goal, but the performance yesterday, you and I had talked about this. I was feeling pretty positive going into it, and I completely understand you guys weren't. I know a lot of people weren't, and that's completely understandable. But man, we came out in the first 20 minutes of that game, just absolutely embarrassed Newcastle, bro.
I got messages I sent to you, and I was like, mate, I would take a point. I'd shake your hand firmly at a point. And I think a lot of us were in that same boat. I couldn't watch the game initially. I've watched it back now and watched it all back. And wow, that first 20 minutes, exceptional.
Next level.
It really, really was. And to be honest, I'm actually quite upset that that Pope got sent off, because that seemed to ruin our rhythm a lot. It did. We'd have this issue against 10 men sometimes, but we can't
always. Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I would still absolutely buzzing with a win. To be the only team to beat them all season in the league is a really big achievement, especially because they've been so hard to beat. Even if they just get a draw, I think they've drawn more than they've won this season. So they're a good and a tough side to beat, which is what Eddie Howe has implanted there. And yeah, I'm a little bit sad for Pope that he's got to miss that final, but. Norris Karius season, mate.
My boy Karius. I thought Karius was going to come in yesterday, and I was going to lose my mind. But Dubravka ended up coming in. Well, so why wouldn't they start Dubravka?
Because he actually played for Man United in the Cup. So he was on loan at Man United in the first half of the season.
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, because there's a lot of boys were putting in my group chat earlier yesterday, and they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Karius. Like, why would? Oh yeah, Dubravka play for United, which is also ironic because he'll get a winners medal if United win.
What the hell? God, man, that's a little weird. I actually completely forgot about that. But man, fucking Karius, man. I feel bad for the guy. That's insane, though. I was expecting him to come on. So, all right. So the Pope decision, I think it was Eddie Howe came out and was like, thought it was a little harsh. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, how can you think that's? I mean, obviously you're backing up your player, but touch the ball. He grabbed the ball. The most blatant red card handball I've ever seen. It's like, oh man,
bless him.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him though. Could be fair. He's been massive for Newcastle. He's been a brilliant signing, but like, what I tried to decipher it in my head. Like, what was he thinking? I just can't. Like, there's no reason.
No, it's a good point. I actually tried to justify it as well. What I could think of is he was in between two minds. He was like, should I dive for this and head it clear? Or should I kick it? And he was like, I can dive and get it. The ball's moving away from him. And mid-dive, he realized I'm not going to get there. So it was just instinctual at this point. I honestly think he might have made the right decision by trying to dive for it. But at the end, he didn't dive far enough. And it's just a red card handball. But everything at that point was just going our way. And also, going back to what you said about Newcastle, you're absolutely right. They have 10 wins and 11 draws, which is insane, actually. More draw. I mean,
I think the record at the moment for a Premier League season is 17. I think they could get it, and that's one thing I'm actually going to be. I'll be cheering for every Newcastle draw. I want that draw. I want that record to be beaten.
I wonder what that would make the table look like too, because obviously it's going to. I feel like Newcastle are definitely going to. They've got to finish top 6, top 7, top 6. I feel like they're going to. I can't see Man United, Man City, or Arsenal falling out at this point. I feel like if anyone's going to fall out, it might be Tottenham. I think we're going to find our way back up in that mix as well. But 17 draws, man, that's crazy. You could probably save your season. You couldn't win a whole game. Actually, no, not at this point. I was going to say you could draw 17 matches, not win a single one, and like save relegation, but not at this point.
You could probably draw, or if you drew every single game, I reckon you'd be okay. That'd be a great invincible season.
Imagine 38 draws. No, 36 draws.
38
Good Lord. That's absolutely crazy. Let's go over to the chat a little bit. Liz, thank you for the $2 super chat. We appreciate you. Kyle, ask Chris about the NFL. Oh, yeah. Some of our channel members had told me that you did a watch along for the Super Bowl, and it was great. I heard it was hilarious, and I'm
Mate,
here for that kind of content. We
it
need
was
that.
so funny. It was so funny. I was calling Philadelphia the cheese people against against Can. Oh, mate, honestly, I was like, what is the point? There's so many stupid stops for no reason. It was so long. I had to stop after the third quarter because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning here, and I was
No,
like,
it's absurd how long the games are. Absolutely absurd.
But to be fair, my cover of Rude Boy by Rihanna on the stream, I would say, is probably up there with some of the best content ever created.
I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I'm so glad you said that, but because I think Rude Boy is one of the most underrated Rihanna songs on the planet.
Up there.
Amazing song. Lyrics aside, amazing song. Great song.
And she was amazing, to be fair. It was probably my favorite part of the entire event.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And the whole time I'm thinking, she looks a little pregnant. I didn't even realize it until after the fact that she was actually pregnant. So
yeah, it was painful to watch. But to be fair, she can always show that baby. She's like, you were headlining the Super Bowl before you were freaking born, man. Like, fair play.
Legendary stuff. I absolutely love it. I love Rihanna. That's a good choice. And she has so many hits that you forget about.
Oh, mate, honestly, some absolute tunes. I was there I was waiting for Paul McCartney to be wheeled out and then do 4 or 5 seconds.
God, but he's always there, man. He's always there. Shout out to our channel members in the chat. Liz, Tony, got Oyvind in here, Hannah, everyone. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And also everyone else. Spencer, Robbie D is in here. I saw Michael Ramsey in here giving us some shit earlier, but he's gone now. We got this guy that comes in and he just talks shit about Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, and that's it. And then
all right. Yeah. All right.
I know. Crazy. But we got Spence here. We got huge week ahead for Newcastle United, who's unfortunately on a roll in Carabao Cup, and then City at the empty head at the weekend. Yeah, Newcastle. I mean,
next.
Ooh. What's that?
Newcastle have got Man City next, have they?
I actually haven't even looked at the schedule here. I can pull it up here real quick.
Newcastle fixtures.
Yeah, Newcastle here. Let me yeah, wow, yeah, Man United, Man City, Wolves.
And then they got Man United in the league on the 1st of April as well.
April Fools. Damn.
Oh, and Nottingham Forest away, and they're very, very difficult to beat away from home, as we know.
God. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at Nottingham Forest, how they played against City.
Did you see Haaland's miss, by the way? Did you see Haaland's misses?
I heard it was, what, six yards out?
Yeah, and he hit the post, and then he's just, it was in row Z, or if there was more alphabets, letters in the alphabet, it would have been further back. But if that was Nunez, it would be all over Twitter, lads. It would.
Oh, no, absolutely. 100%. Meanwhile, Nunez is sending missiles through the net. Absolute legend, dude. That I feel like all his frustration was sent in that one goal yesterday. He just he said, you know what? I'm just going to rocket this into the net. And I absolutely love it. Another thing I want to bring up about that match yesterday is Salah. Okay, Salah, I thought Salah was phenomenal from his hold-up play to his amazing chip over to Gakpo. I mean, that's vintage Salah there. But one thing I thought of, they're now getting some chemistry, dude. Was that the whole issue the whole time? Was it just the front three needed some chemistry? Because Jota and Bobby were out, so Salah's trying to learn with these two new guys. Could that have just been the thing, and now they found it?
I think it's a big thing for two young players to come in and be the new front line with the amount of pressure on the price tag on Nunez. The Haaland thing, he's been compared to him all the time, which was a ludicrous comparison point anyway. You can never be compared to probably one of the best players in the world at the moment. And then you've got, Gakpo, who's come in, being chased by United again, had a little bit of a difficult start. But yeah, chemistry is a massively important thing. I still don't think it's quite there yet. I know we've seen it a lot in the last couple of games. It's not quite Salah, Firmino, Mane levels of chemistry, but once they get there, have a pre-season together. It's dangerous next season. And then you add in, you can put Diogo Jota in there. You can put Roberto Firmino in there. You can put Luis Diaz in there. Now that is scary, lads.
I miss Diaz, man. I miss Diaz, his prolific. That's something else. Once Diaz comes back, Darwin's doing great on the wing. I think Darwin on the wing is so dangerous just given that pace. Does Darwin filter back over? Does Darwin play in the middle and Diaz has to play out on the left? I feel like he's one of the only players that isn't rotatable.
I think he can play right. I do think he can play on the right
Yeah,
as cover because a lot of them. That's why I was a little bit like there's a lot of disparagement about Gakpo playing in the middle, Nunez playing on the left, and I was like, well, listen, they all rotate and interchange anyway, so it doesn't really
that's
make that
true.
much of a big difference. Salah's pretty much stationed on that right hand side, also can come into the middle, but no, I can't pick my front three for next season right
That's
now. If everyone's
great
fit, I
problem
can't
to
pick
have.
it.
Absolutely love that. Great problem to have, man. And so thinking about the front three, we're going to have a great options for front three next year, which is also kind of why I think a lot of people. I know Steve, who I normally have on the show. He said, "I don't understand the Gakpo signing," and I understand that to a certain extent. You're thinking like we need a midfielder once the January transfer window was rolling around and we got Gakpo. Great signing. I mean, I think he just didn't understand it. But now we can almost entirely focus on midfield in the summer,
Yeah,
like almost exclusively. Maybe get a defender in there. Calvin Ramsey's got a long-term injury now, but of course, we're thinking about bringing in that center back that we'll talk about in a little bit. But we can almost exclusively focus on the midfield, which is, I think, going to be a good thing. Come summertime. And Chris, yeah, they're doing well over there. They're over at their Twitch now exclusively. So,
exclusively on Twitch. Yeah, I've been seeing the lads on Tuesday actually. We're gonna go watch the Real Madrid game. So
oh, that's lit.
yeah, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm gonna be vlogging all of that over on my channel, so it'll be fun.
Let's
And
go.
it's gonna be carnage. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you see some of the clips from their watch along
Like
yesterday?
I
Dude,
tell you what, right?
they're
It, wa-
hilarious.
I had a little rant to my chat earlier because I was like, I've seen a lot of disrespect to get right, and I'm not a fan. Say I'm not a fan of someone's content. Say, oh, I don't know. Who don't I like? Let's come up with an imaginary channel. Let's say my missus has a channel, right? Right. She's just walked in for a cup of tea for me, right? So I should probably bad
Yeah, yeah.
timing. Say she has a channel and I really don't like her channel. I wouldn't go over there and spread disrespect. I just wouldn't watch it. But people
Yeah.
like go just literally go for them all the time just because it's not their sort of content. It really winds me up. But
No, dude. I talk about it all the time. People have this urge to be like they have to get it out. It makes them feel better to talk shit about other channels. And right, if I don't like a channel, if I'm watching a video, I'm like, all right, never gonna watch them again. I'm not gonna go out of my way to comment or make it hard for them. But regardless of what you think about them, they're doing really well, and I enjoy their content from time to time. I don't all the time. I don't have a lot of time to watch full streams. And plus, I don't even go on Twitch, but they're little videos they upload. They're a good group of lads. And honestly, I got to give Craig a lot of credit because Craig supported me back when I was really small, and I'm sure you kind of feel the same way with him
same with
bringing
me.
you on.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a great guy, regardless of what people say about him. Him and Connor and Patty as well, just
exactly.
really good, down to earth people. So shout out to them. Liz, take care. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go back over to the chat here, see what we can find. Tony will be over there at the in the upper main stand at the Madrid game.
Well, we'll be in the Carlsberg posh lounge, mate. We're
Okay.
we're balling out here. We're balling.
Oh man,
I got
Darius,
to
here we
set off
go.
from I got to set off from Cardiff in Cardiff, Wales, at about 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning to make sure I get there in time,
Yikes.
and then leaving there on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So it's going to be two big early mornings for me.
That's a quick turnaround. Credit to you, man. Darius says, I know our attack is already scared, but I would love signing Colombo. Yeah, we've been linked with him in the summer with Thrive and Klopp's system. Yeah, I just think at this point we're so stacked in the attack. If we stay injury free, we don't really need too much. I think we should focus on the midfield. I really do. I think that's what our especially with Keita and Ox leaving, you're going to have to replace them.
And potentially Milner as well.
And potentially Milner. Yeah. I mean, dude, the way Milner came in and just I just respect the hell out of that guy. The way he can just come in and immediately I don't even have to say it.
Realistically, that's what he should be there to do. He shouldn't be starting, but to come on in the last 20 minutes when it 1-2-0 up, maybe 2-1, and just destroy. That's what he should be doing.
That's absolutely what he should be doing.
Wherever,
A yellow
wherever.
card, give it to me. Hard tackle, that's what we need. This is the coldest take I've ever seen, Josh. However, this is not just your idea. Like there was an actual article that said Klopp is and I made a video about it too because I honestly thought it was kind of absurd selling Salah to get Chiesa because Salah was in poor form. At the time, he was a goal drought, but I wonder what they're thinking now. To get Chiesa?
I don't know. Well, Chiesa's this season he's played 8 games, scored no goals, and got 2 assists.
I don't know.
Serie A.
We'll let the people decide.
I think if you're selling Salah, you got to get someone who's proven to get the goals. People forget how Mo Salah's got, I think, 18 goals in all competitions this season. It's not like Salah levels,
but that's still for anybody else. Those are remarkable numbers. And I've said it before. I remember way back on a stream. I think it was actually Craig. Craig asked me, he was like, "Who would you want as an attacking, like a winger?" And I said Chiesa, but not at the expense of Salah. I think it's
ACL tax as well. He's come back from a really, really horrible injury, like a disgustingly bad injury, and he's not really kicked on. And it's a massive risk to go replace someone with the goal scoring output that Mo Salah has with someone who has never proved he has that in his locker.
Nope, absolutely not. He has the prolific potential, if you will.
Yeah.
But not the production, if that makes sense. A lot of P's there. All right. Milner can play till he's 50. I honestly think he could. He might drop in levels. Like he might be like Championship, League 2, League 1, whatever. But I honestly think he could play till he's 50 at a competitive level. So
I think he's the kind of guy, though, that when he can't play at the competitive top level, which I still think he can, I think if he was required to play 90 minutes a week in a Premier League football, I think he could do it. But I think at this, he'd rather play at a top club for 20 minutes rather than playing, like, say, at Leeds, no offense, for 90 minutes a week.
Honestly, because you think he's training week in, week out with these guys, too. And
there's a reason why he's still there.
Klopp has said that he keeps the players honest, like him and Henderson, like these guys that aren't necessarily the most technical, gifted players. They're keeping the players like honest, like they're keeping them motivated. They're making sure that they're working hard. That's what you need in the locker room. When Ronaldo was first at Man United, they were saying that he was kind of doing that same idea. You kind of want to keep the young players humbled, if you will. 2 wins on the bounce. Great performances. Bajcetic, we talked about. We have to talk about Alisson as well, because yesterday, without Alisson, we would have conceded early again, and then who knows how that game would have gone. Alisson Becker, one-on-one, it's been said, it needs to be said, and it should be continued to be said to the masses, is the best one-on-one keeper in the world.
I would go as far to say he's the best ever of one-on-one. I think the closest, and I'm talking like realistically, I can't say that with.
But you did. You roll with it, dude. Roll
with it. I think he's better than Peter Schmeichel at one-on-ones, and I would say he's probably the best at one-on-ones I've ever seen. Like, I know you shouldn't really compare eras, but lad, it's almost like a one-on-one. Oh Jesus, a one-on-one should be 70-30 in the favor of a striker.
Right.
It's probably flipped with Alisson. And that is like the level of skill required is ridiculous.
I couldn't agree more. It's like you said, the skill, when you look at his positioning on that first shot, I can't remember. It might have been Almiron. Thank you. Yep. He had everything covered, all angles. He had top corners, and then his legs were out. Like, that ball was not going to squeeze through. Almiron could have had a beautifully accurate shot. Unless he chipped Alisson, it was his positioning and his ability to utilize his timing. So after Almiron's last touch, his ability to close down that space is it's second to none. And you see, and a great example when you compare him to other keepers, just look at how Pickford closed down that space on the breakaway, right? Or you look at Nick Pope. You look at Alisson, was quick off his line before that first save. In the ball in behind to Isak. Like, Alisson, that was a great ball in. Isak could have easily gotten a shot on, but Alisson is just on it. He is so good. And I think oh God, man, without Alisson, I don't know where we'd be. I really don't.
We would be 8th. And we're celebrating being 8th at the moment because it could have been a lot worse.
Oh my God. Darius says he wouldn't trade Ali for anyone. Dude, no, Ali's got to be here. oh God, what a buy he was.
He's got to be up there as well. People forget. I know that even though he will come to fruition and be more focused on this season, but how good he was last season as well. Even though the team was succeeding, there was games in which we struggled, and he saved us. In seasons gone by, I think the only poor spell he had was at the start of 2021 when his father died and he got COVID. That was the only time when we haven't seen this unbelievable goalkeeper and the elite level of composure, of distribution, of shot stopping, of everything you want from a goalkeeper. So the only thing that stopped him being, in my opinion, the best we've seen probably in a Liverpool shirt has been bereavement. Like that level of consistency, I think is underestimated. And a lot of people will compare and contrast, but I think you can only see what there's literally Exhibit A right in front of you. Alisson Becker, Exhibit Alisson in front of you. That he is probably the best keeper we've seen in a Liverpool shirt and one of the best we've seen in the Premier League.
Undoubtedly, I love what you said about like the level of consistency and how difficult that is, and then the fact that you said only bereavement has prevented him from being absolutely consistent across his time here at Liverpool. I do want to touch. Someone said something in here. Yeah, Oyvind said from Karius to one of the greatest. Now, I completely understand. Take out that final, though. Karius was completely fine that season.
Oh, I don't know.
He was completely fine that season. He was better than Mignolet.
I wouldn't go there.
You don't think so?
The reason why, okay, he didn't really make high-profile mistakes that season, apart from obviously the most high-profile
the highest.
The most high-profile goalkeeping mistake probably ever. He made me more nervous I'm talking just going to the games than any goalkeeper I've ever witnessed, even more than Mignolet, even more than past rate, like when Ray
on the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
He shook me so much. And yeah, I think whatever happened in that final, we had to upgrade him. But he was okay for 4 million quid. Like, I'm not going to complain.
Okay, fair enough. Let's looking at it for the price. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah.
I think Kelleher it's just crazy the quality we have at goalkeeper right now, because Kelleher is miles above Karius ever was. When I see Kelleher play, I'm really worried because there's links out there right now. We're looking to sell him, and I don't want to. I mean,
we gotta be. If we're gonna be
selfish
Liverpool fans, we'll be saying like, yeah, we'll keep that lad forever. But he was just born into the wrong era, I think. If he was born, say 5-6 years earlier, he would be Liverpool's number one potentially right now. But he's not, unfortunately. And he's gonna. I think he would be an unbelievable keeper for a mid-table side right now.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
I know they might stay up, sadly, but for example, Everton, right? Say Pickford's probably going to go to Spurs this summer. I think Kelleher would go there. I think Kelleher would go to Spurs. Genuinely, I think he's that good. He is. He's that good.
I agree with you. Like, I feel the same about Kelleher that I do about Bajcetic. But now, granted, we've seen this consistency from Kelleher over about 2 seasons now. The Carabao Cup performance last year was just like case in point. We were just like, yes, like Kelleher, yes. But even when we've seen him briefly this season, I just think Kelleher is a sleeper. He's one of those players the eye test, he just passes it with flying colors. And then statistically too. And he's so sneakily athletic too. Man's explosive. That's one criticism I have of Alisson is Alisson isn't necessarily the quickest, but he thinks his way into the right positions, and then it's fine. He kind of works his way out of it. But regardless, I think Liverpool have done an excellent job scouting, our training in terms of goalkeepers, in terms of our youth academy. All credit to Klopp and his staff. We have now this young wave of players coming through. And even you look at the younger keepers like Pitaluga or whatever, like some of those guys, they're pretty good.
Right. Listen, it's a goalkeeping. I think they wanted to call it a school of goalkeeping, wasn't it? With Taffarel coming in as well alongside John Achterberg. So it's a shame that you could only have one goal. We could do with a school of bloody midfield, to be honest.
Yeah, good luck. Jesus Christ, don't get me started on that. We'll move on. Let's go over to the chat a little bit. Someone said talking about straight swap for Bellingham here would be okay. We'll save those for the end. Let's move on to the Madrid preview here. All right, so look, Real Madrid. I can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure that Thibaut Courtois is not going to be available. Am I correct in saying that?
He played against Osasuna, so I think he will be.
God damn it! Oh. Because I'm telling you, man, he had one of the best single game performances I've ever seen in that Champions League final. I've ever seen. I honestly thought he was the reason we lost.
I think he was a big part of it. Tchouaméni had a flu, and so he missed out against Osasuna. Benzema's touch and go. Toni Kroos is out. But like realistically, if Real Madrid have a midfielder, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world with their depth.
They do have a lot.
Carvajal is touch and go, I think. But apart from that, like it's all about realistically, they'll be fine. Whatever Real Madrid comes to Anfield, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those clubs, dude. Obviously, miles ahead of where Barcelona are at right now because Barcelona are having to deal with all the financial issues.
Top of La Liga, though.
What's that?
Barca are top of La Liga.
I know, I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, quality. You just look at where Barcelona are at. I know you understand what I'm saying. And to be fair, I'll admit it, did not know Barca were top of the league. I saw
they're on an unbelievable run in the league. They really are. But then you look at the quality that they showed against Manchester United. I just don't think they've got enough. But yeah, there you go. Real Madrid against Osasuna there. But they did lose recently against Mallorca.
I did see that. Let's go. Let me see standings here. So yeah, second to Barcelona. Wow, they're actually 7 points behind Barcelona. So yeah, for some reason, whenever Madrid lose or they struggle, it's big news, which is completely understandable because Madrid, on paper, best team in the world, I'd say. Just when you look at their acquisitions recently, specifically in the midfield, I think the Camavinga, Tchouaméni acquisitions, and then with them being linked to Bellingham, I was like, that cannot happen. We need to sign Bellingham. Like, that midfield would just be unfreaking believable. So with that in mind, you know, Salah put out the tweet, there's unfinished business. We got to settle this. We are not good against Madrid, dude. Or at least we haven't been in recent past.
They seem to be, they used to speak about bogey sides. It used to be, when I was growing up, it used to be Wigan and Spurs and stuff like that. And to talk about Real Madrid being a bogey side, I think shows how far we've come. But being honest, I think that this time there's much less pressure on Liverpool than there has been recently. I think the COVID season, realistically, no one gave a shit about that. The Champions League final in Kiev, no one really expected much. I personally didn't think we were going to win that game, and we probably could have done if it wasn't for the man we mentioned earlier.
We were the best team up in both halftime. Yeah, in both finals, Agreed. Yep.
And Lovren pocketed Ronaldo, by the way, which still doesn't get talked about enough.
My guy, Lovren. He also assisted Mane in that first final.
He did.
Yeah, that nice little header.
Yeah. I think I don't really like. Even I know we've won the last two games. I know a lot more of us are feeling a lot more positive about it. But realistically, Real Madrid should win. They should. They should be favourites for this football match. So there's no pressure on us. Just go out there and play football, lads.
I couldn't agree more. I for some reason this link is giving me making the stream kind of slow, so we'll stop sharing it real quick. But look, Madrid are an excellent side, and they're going to come to Anfield regardless with who they have, and like you said, they're going to perform. I just personally, I think with these two wins, if we didn't get these two wins, I'd be actually scared. But like you said, we have nothing to lose. We go into the first leg, we play like we've been playing, and I think having more players back gives us confidence, mainly Van Dijk. Having Van Dijk back is going to give us a huge boost. Everyone we've seen over the last week has been in good form. There hasn't been a player that's been on the pitch where you're like, that he played terrible. Honestly, Trent, Robbo, both playing phenomenal right now, which is going to be huge. They need to play well because Vinicius is a problem. And if Trent can't, I mean, even going forward, Trent's fine. But defending, I think Trent has been great the last two games.
I think he's been good this season defensively, actually, which might be a controversial take. I
see why you would say that. I mean,
And I
don't know.
think that is why well, not good. I'll say he's been better this season defensively.
Okay, I agree with
I
that.
think that has impacted his offensive game a lot. Because he's probably been told, right, we're a bit of a shit situation here. We need to defend more. And I think he has done well. Apart from there was a couple of instances earlier this season where he was just he got absolutely done in at Arsenal, got done in against United, didn't he? And Napoli as well. Those 3 games just give me so much pain. I don't
Did
even
he
want
play against Brighton?
being honest, mate, that game's been erased from my memory, but I
That
would
game
assume he
was
did.
the worst game I've ever seen, and I'm just trying to remember. All I know is Gomez was horrific. But
yeah, Wolves and Brighton. I just sort of like I forget about it. Like I just tunnel vision, just forget about Brighton and Wolves.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
So you tagged me in that video of the fan TV, and so I got in a hole of watching all the reactions, and I was like, all right, let's go back. So I watched the Brighton one that I was featured in. I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot how bad this was. I was just watching my reaction, and I'm laughing. I never laugh. I was just laughing because of how bad it was.
Yeah, I remember we got to 0-0 at half time, and I was like, how are we here? But we can go and potentially do something. Oh wait, no.
Nope.
Oh wait, no.
No.
Depressing as anything. But oh my lord. But then let's forget about that. Forget the negatives. We go,
yeah, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Positive here. 2 wins.
Exactly. 2 wins. We've got nothing to lose against Real Madrid. Being honest, I think it's much more important that we go and win next week in the Premier League. Against I think who we got next week? Is it Bournemouth away? I'm pretty sure.
Oh God.
That's the 11th actually. Oh no, Christ! It shows how much prep we.
Dude, I'm never good at the schedule, and people always like come at me about it. They're like, "Oh, you don't know your team." I'm like,
it's Man United. Is it? No, that's 5th of March.
Hold on a second. I got y'all. Hold on. Here we go. Liverpool
we got
schedule.
Wolves.
This is why we have Google. We got Wolves on Wednesday.
And
March
Crystal
1st.
Palace on Saturday.
Crystal Palace on Saturday. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Then Man United.
That's doable. We can have them.
Okay. Wow. That's okay. So, all right. Crystal Palace, Wolves.
Being
Man
honest,
United.
I didn't even think we had Crystal Palace anywhere near this sort of time.
Why did I forget about Crystal Palace all of a sudden? Usually Crystal Palace are one of those teams where I completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. So yeah, that's tough.
That is more important, in my opinion, than Real Madrid.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that because over the last 2 games with the 6 points, we have a game in hand over Tottenham. So I think, what are we, 6 points out of first? Or not first. Jesus. 6 points out of top 4. I wish we were 6 points out of first. Let me see here. All right. So 6 points. Yeah. No. 4 points off Tottenham.
Oh, and if Spurs drop points today, that would be huge.
5 points off Tottenham. Yeah, so it's still 0-0. Okay. They're playing West Ham right now, right?
I think West Ham could do something there, you know.
Yeah, West Ham, they've been a disappointment this year, man. I thought they were going to be much better than they were, but maybe they can do us a favor here. But regardless, I agree with what you're saying. I think those 2 wins and the game in hand are a massive boost for us because now we're back in the conversation. Honestly, and that's what's crazy about the league. Like, yeah, we were doing terrible. Everyone agrees we were doing awful, and we had to question if this form continues, are we even going to get Conference League? But now we're back in the conversation. I mean, that's the beauty of the league. That's the beauty of just one win, one shift in momentum. And I mean, hell, we beat Newcastle. Newcastle drops off. And now we got Man United coming up. I mean,
that game, I'm going to that game, and that is going to be, I think, one of the most mental atmospheres
it's got to be
Anfield has seen in a long time.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. I think the timing of that, if we play, regardless if we play well against Wolves or Crystal Palace, you're right. I think that's going to be insane. But
yeah,
just looking at
especially if United get close to the top of the league as well.
Yeah, and I mean, look, based on how they're playing right now, it really looks like they're pushing for it, dude. They're 5 points out of first. 5 points out of first. So, anyways, you're going back to the matches. I want to see if they have a preview here for the Madrid. Sometimes they do. Yeah, look at that. Oh. People have us winning. Okay. I don't know how they figured that. I don't know how they figured that at all. But Liverpool are favorites to win. But I wanted to talk about this. I'm glad I saw it. Darwin Nunez, guys. So he's a doubt to face Real Madrid. I haven't seen any news regarding like specific scans, specific injuries. But he went down. You guys saw him. He got back up. He played. He had that shot, a great shot, by the way, and a great save by Dubravka, and then went down again, and was taken off the field. Here's the thing about the shoulder, okay? It's always bouncing. You can play football with an injured shoulder, but because of the running, it's uncomfortable. Dude, I think he could play. If they tape that bitch up right, I think he could play. I don't know if I would play him, but I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud. Unless it's like dislocated or he has a broken AC joint, something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be more concerning, but I'm kind of just thinking out loud at this point.
I think I don't know. I don't know whether I'd risk it. But at the same time, he could be dangerous in behind their back line. Carvajal and Nacho Fernandez aren't the quickest. So I think we could get behind there and Nunez could really cause some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If it was going to be a long-term risk, I would choose Jota, but I also don't think Jota has looked great since coming back because realistically he's had a long time out.
He's just rusty. I mean, he's had a few. I mean, it was great to see him jump again yesterday and like get his head on a ball. I'm like, wow, we missed that. We missed that presence.
Yeah. I wouldn't pick Bobby, being honest, but I have a feeling Jurgen might. I have a feeling.
I get that feeling too. He looked pretty good when he came on yesterday.
He looked all right, didn't he? Yeah, he looked okay. I just don't know. He hasn't got, and he's a great big game player, but he hasn't got a great record of scoring in big games. Which is one thing you have to look at in big games, like this one. I would probably choose Jota over Bobby. That if it came to the choice of between the two, because you could also stick Jota on the left if you wanted.
I think I agree with you. All right. So what I think might happen. So you said he'd put Jota on the left?
If it came to, or you put Gakpo on the left and put Jota through the middle.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. I'm thinking Gakpo has been playing through the middle the last 2 games, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which
because Nunez through the middle most of the time,
yeah, except for his first game, he played out on the left. But I think he's been better through the middle. And Jota, I think. Dude, I don't know. I mean, do you keep Gakpo in the middle if Nunez is going to miss the match? Do you keep Gakpo in the middle just because of his form and let Jota? I'd say do that. I'd say leave Gakpo in the middle, even though Jota has been a center forward. Like Jota can play either on the wing or through the middle. But I personally think you keep Gakpo in the middle just to so you have that height. Let Jota play out wide, and then you sub Bobby on later in the match. That's what I think. But you're right. I think Klopp, he might go with Bobby.
The one thing about Gakpo is he's got the height, but I wouldn't say he's great in the air.
No, not at all.
That's what I would actually say. I'd go as far as say Jota's better in the air than him. And he's about 5 inches smaller.
He's such a sleeping like aerial presence.
He is, which is something Gakpo needs to improve on, in my opinion. That's a big thing for him. To improve on come soon. I think he's a great technical player, got a great shot on him, and always gets in good positions. But he needs to improve his heading. It's a massive thing for him. But look, if he was to play through the middle, Jota would play on the left. What's to say they won't switch places anyway? If it's not going well,
yeah, throughout the game they're rotating anyway. I mean, there's. I feel like the midfield rotates too. The only players who don't rotate are the back line, and even then, you see sometimes Robertson and Trent will switch sides if something's not working, but. It really doesn't matter. The fluidity of the front line is why Liverpool are so dangerous. And I think regardless of who Klopp plays, I think we're going to have a chance if we keep the same form. What we cannot do, which hasn't happened in the last 2 matches, a little bit yesterday in the beginning, but not so much. We cannot let Madrid get on the break and play in behind. Because I still, despite us playing well, dude, I don't trust the high line this season as much as I have in the past. I feel like teams figure it out. They're just quick. They win it. If they win it back, they're quick. And if you got Vinicius out there, bro, he is the scariest player. He's the scariest player for me.
He is. It's like Rashford in that regard, I would say. Except Vinicius, I think the last couple of seasons, he's not been up there as much this season as he was last. but he's still going to be an absolutely massive threat. Rodrigo Goes as well is going to be massive for them. I think he'll probably play through the middle if Benzema's out. And then you have Fede Valverde, who's having the season of his life on the right-hand side.
Yep.
So it's not like they're short of quality. And he can play, well, Valverde can play midfield as well if it has to be. So they're all three very quick midfielders. You've got a technical master in Luka Modric there, going to be able to pick players out easily. You've got Aurelion Tchouameni, if he is fit, he did have the flu, so who's a great destroyer, and Camavinga as well, who is just a perfect blend of all of everything, really.
Yep.
I do worry if we do play the high line. But I suppose, as Jurgen and Pep Linders have always said, it's high risk, high reward.
Yes, good point. High risk, high reward. The question is, are we going to have, probably, are we going to have enough possession to be able to even get set with a high line? Or is the game going to be so back and forth that and time of possession is going to be a rarity? I feel like it is. I don't think Madrid are going to just sit back. I think Madrid are going to try to be on the front foot.
Being honest, I think Real Madrid will do as they always have done, and is soak up the Liverpool pressure early on, then look to attack towards the end of the first half, which again they have done every single time. They seem to have our number, really. Last time we beat them was 2009. And we played them twice at the Bernabeu in the group stage in 2014-15. Being honest, that was always going to happen. We lost them in the final twice. We lost them in the quarterfinal once. Realistically, they'll do what's suited them. They know Liverpool inside out. And we've just got to hope that we now can provide something different with the players we have now compared to the players we had in those previous times.
You know who we didn't have? We didn't have Baccetic. We got Baccetic now, bro.
Be interesting. Changer. He's got to play. There's no debate. He's got to play.
He's got
18 years old in the Champions League quarterfinal. Absolutely last 16 tie, sorry.
Yeah, no, he is. I think you go same midfield. You go Fabinho, Baccetic, Henderson, all day.
What? Thiago's not going to be fit, I know. But,
no, Thiago's out. Diaz is out. I just had it up, but it was making the stream laggy. Konate and Calvin Ramsey still all out.
I wonder what the situation is when Thiago's fit again. Does he come straight back in?
That's the question that needs to be asked, because it seems like a lot of people are saying. I think it's a bad point to make. Thiago's out, and then all of a sudden we start winning. I don't think it has anything to do with Thiago.
Well, there was a point when if Thiago was out, then we wouldn't win. So it's nothing to do
with
that.
I even if Thiago was fit, Baccetic is not droppable.
Well, he's not the one. He's number one in the midfield now.
Right.
He is. He's been our best player since the World Cup by a stretch. And him and Alisson are out there like on their own.
They're going full Nat Phillips, bro. Just life on the line for this club right now.
Exactly.
And I'm feeling pretty good. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you got? Score predictions, lineup predictions. We'll do our lineup prediction here in just a second. We kind of pretty much already done it, but we'll take this opportunity to say thanks for tuning in, guys. Go check out Chris's channel, Stonage. I said it right that time. I think, right? No, Stonage. God damn it.
You got it. You're nearly there.
It's so disrespectful. I'm terrible at games.
It's okay, mate. It's okay.
Go check out his channel. Just broke 1K. Great channel, man. Good content. And are you doing freelance work right now for other clubs too?
Yeah, just doing bits and bats, really, mate. To be honest, because I'm still a student, so still in my last year of university, so it's all absolutely a go. But I'm going to be going full-time freelance at the end of the year, so
let's go.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But the YouTube channel is a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll get your name out there, and of course, you get to still work on your craft while you're doing it. So we got Darius saying 4-3 Madrid over both legs. Yeah.
See, I think we score in both games.
Oh yeah.
That's my thoughts, but I'm going to predict a penalty shootout.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because away goals isn't a thing anymore. So
yep, it goes to extra time, then penalties. I'm going penalty shootout, lad.
God, I hate penalties, man. I can't stand penalties. God. All right. All right, let's do lineup. Let's start from the back. You got Alisson, of course, in goal. It goes without saying the back four, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Joe Gomez is proven now as the second choice, while Konate's out. Poor old Joel. I don't know what the future holds for Joel Matip now. Really, this
I love
season
that, man.
he's been
Love that,
off
man.
it, man. He has been off it this season.
He
Compared to
has.
how good he was last season, he was unbelievable, wasn't he? Like,
He
this
was.
season he's been off it. But Gomez, I think you have to play him. But there is potential for a Gomez honker.
Stop. Don't put that bad juju on him, man. He's been great.
There is. It just stinks of a Gomez mistake, though, right? It does.
It's so possible. It sucks. It's almost like he's covering up for it. You know, if he has a good match, it's always there. The potential is always there for a missed header or a slip or a. Sometimes he's just slow, and you're like, oh God, he's not quick. He's a step slow. He's going to lose possession, whatever. But I think you're right. I think Gomez partners Van Dijk, and then you got Robbo and Trent at the back. Midfield, we just talked about it, and I think that's what he has to go with. I mean, we'll probably see Harvey Elliott later in the match, James Milner maybe. Is there a possibility? Klopp throws Milner in for this match?
There's distinctly a possibility. I don't think he will, though. I think 90 minutes. Why? I think if the first leg was at the Bernabeu, there would be more possibility of that.
Yeah.
But nah. I think he will bring him on. There's no real debate. I'll put like a quid on James Milner to be on within the last sort of 20 minutes. I think it's on. Maybe even half an hour. He might be extended to half an hour this week for his shift. So
Millie, we need you. 30 minutes. Okay, boss. Got it. All right. We got.
Yeah, no, I think you can't change that midfield.
No, and a lot of people are agreeing with here, or even saying Bajcetic, Fabinho, Hendo, Jota, Darwin, and Salah up. So Darwin at this point.
Gakpo.
I don't know.
I don't think you can drop Gakpo after scoring 2 and 2.
I don't think you can either. I mean, to me, the biggest thing isn't dropping Gakpo. It's I don't know if Darwin's going to be available. It's not confirmed that he's out yet either. It's just kind of up in the air. Other than that, though, I mean, the lineup. I mean, it's a question. It's a question. What else we got in here? Dermot says, "Is there any chance we go Bajcetic, Hendo, and Keita in the midfield?" I'd say maybe 2% chance.
Yeah,
maybe 5.
I'd rather play Milner than Keita.
100% all day.
And that's no disrespect to Navi. I just think he's done. Like, realistically, we have to wash our hands and shake his hand and say thank you, but it's not worked out. See you later.
That's the saddest story, man, isn't it? So much. I don't think Steven says this a lot. He is one of the signings under Klopp that I've been the most excited for.
I think that was part of the problem. I think the fact that he was bought 6 months before and it allowed a lot of hype to get. Because I remember that summer, it's like, Keita's coming, lads. Keita's coming. We'll be fine. He's going to sort out all our problems. And look, for a while, like he might have done, but the lad is just not physically ready for the Premier League. Never has been.
Yeah, dude's injured every other week. It's actually remarkable when you look at his injury record. And Oyvind, I'm ready. Put me in. Seriously. I might not be good, but I'll put some tackles in there.
Put a shift in. You put some tackles in. They won't be timed well, and they might break someone's leg.
No, there are definitely going to be some broken bones out there, but I'm for it. Okay, that's fine. We get 5 subs. That's fine. You just once I get a yellow, take me off. I'll be good. All right. Keita against Real. Yeah, it's just not. No Jones or Keita, please. I don't even know. Dude, Jones, he's fallen off recently too. Midfield has got to be what we said. Fabinho, Hendo, and Bajcetic. Front 3 is where you're going to have the debate. If Darwin's ready, does Darwin and Gakpo start again? I think yes. Darwin on the left, Gakpo through the middle, Salah on the right. Darwin's not available. I personally think we'll go with Jota on the left, Gakpo through the middle, Salah on the right. And then, of course, you have the option to sub in Bobby if it's not working out later in the match. And then, hell, maybe Darwin plays later in the match. You never know. That's what I'm personally.
That might be it. They might say, "Oh, just play him for 20 minutes instead of playing him for 90." But yeah, realistically, I think if Nunez plays, there's always going to be a problem somewhere for Real Madrid.
Yeah, anyone with that level of pace and that size, we've seen all of it, dude. It's just like it's all kind of coming together. right? And you look at his statistics. What is it? What is it? 10 goals?
I think he's got
No,
11 now.
11 goals now. Yeah, and like 5 assists, 4 or 5 assists. I mean, that's still great production.
I did a video at the start when he signed, and I said I'd be very happy if he got 15 goals this season, which I think has turned out to be quite a realistic prediction. And I think he'll probably go on to usurp that and probably do better than that.
If he keeps at this pace, yeah, especially with the form he's coming into.
And realistically, he doesn't have missed chances. That's the thing. Like, he's that good. He creates it for himself. He's class. I have no worries about Darwin at all. And I said this on the stream earlier. Like, I don't think I've had such an irrational love for a player ever in my life. Like, it's sort of childlike. It sort of feels like oh my god, it feels like it's Torres again. Like, almost.
I mean, I get it. I get it,
and
completely.
I'm like, he's just he's like one of us, right? Like, he's putting in so much effort. He can't understand a bloody word of English. He doesn't understand who Andy Carroll is, right? But he just runs his long galloping legs off. He's so quick. He's so good at football. He's good at finishing when he wants to be. But then sometimes he's the world's most frustrating. And I think that's why he's so lovable, is because he has got the potential to be so good. But sometimes it's just so unexplainably shit.
God, you're making me giddy over here, man. He reminds me of like a dog, like having a dog. You love that dog to death. Anything that dog does is great. But sometimes you're just like, what the hell are you doing? Why can't you just sit when I say sit? Same exact thing. Dude, he is going to be a problem. And I think buying him, regardless of the price, I don't care what anyone says, they're always going to bring up the price. The guy is special.
Different gravy. Different bloody gravy.
Different freaking gravy, bro. And one thing I do want to touch on before we wrap up here, a lot of people are talking about what's happening with Carvalho. I said this when we bought him. I was excited for Carvalho, don't get me wrong, to see him. Carvalho is going to be another Minamino. It's a flip. It's a flip job. I'm telling you guys. You buy him for a cheap price and you flip him. Same thing with Dominic Solanke. Same kind of thing. You buy him and you flip him.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
I think he's got such ability and such.
Oh, me too. No. That's not the thing. I think he's extremely talented, which is kind of why I don't understand why he's not playing as much. More so than the Minamino thing. I mean, when Minamino played, he did really well. But we always had that question, is Minamino, because he was older. Minamino was like 27, 28. Carvalho is what, 20?
Yeah, and I think, look, I just don't think we found a position for him yet, which is a little bit annoying. At the start of the season, when he came in, I was thinking, Christ, this boy's got an eye for goal. And I just don't know. I don't know whether he needs a loan next season or something, but I don't know where he can play, because the one issue I have with him is he's not strong enough. Like I said about Bajcetic earlier, he's strong enough physically and mentally.
Right.
Carvalho, he looks like a boy still.
Yes, he
even
does.
though he's 2 years older. So him and Elliot, I think Elliot's a lot further on in his path than Carvalho is. But the lad's got an eye for goal. I mean, he got 14 goals last season for Fulham. He's got, I think, 4 goals this season for us in very limited game time.
Is it 4? Is that many? I thought it was like
4
2.
or 5, yeah. Because he scored against
he scored against Newcastle.
Scored against Bournemouth, scored against Newcastle, scored against Rangers, I believe. I don't know if did he score against Rangers? I don't know. He scored some others as well. Scored against Man City in the League Cup in that game straight after the World Cup. So he's got. I don't know. I think he just needs to bulk up a little bit. Because even Salah, look at Salah. Salah's tiny.
But Salah's strong, dude. He's pushing people up. He can shield anybody. Low man is going to win anyway if you're holding up play, in my opinion. I mean, you can be big and be good at it too, but you're right. I think that's a good point. We don't really have a position for him because we've tried him in midfield and we've tried him on the wing. I don't know if he's necessarily quick enough to play on the wing. I think he's more of a left mid. If I had to guess.
Or is he? I don't know. Can he play in central midfield? I don't think he can.
I don't think we've. A lot of people said that he was like a Firmino, but I don't think Klopp's played him in the middle yet, has he?
Not that I know of.
Right. I mean, I would love to see him in the middle. If you can become a Jota-like, false nine, yes, do it. I don't know when you're going to get game time because we have so many players that play through the middle right now, like 4 guys in front of you. So maybe that's why Klopp is playing him out wide or trying him in the midfield. I don't know. He's just got a lot of people ahead of him. But I agree. I agree with the point that he is. I really think that we bought him because of the price. Like we couldn't say no to the price. But it is what it is. Guys, leave your thoughts in the chat. And of course, if you guys are watching on the second time around, of course, you can always watch the live chat again. We have that enabled. And Chris, I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you. I think this has been a great show, and I know the people have enjoyed it. I can definitely tell by the comments. Do you have any closing thoughts, bro?
Up the fucking Reds.
Yes, sir.
That's it, mate. It's an absolute pleasure. I'll happily come on again whenever you need.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, bro. And guys, make sure you guys give the stream a like if you've enjoyed the Sunday summary. I know it was a little bit later today, but that's the sacrifices we make when we have a legend on such as Chris. So we're going to do it. 50 likes. That's right. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. All right. Until next time, Reds, take care.